Welcome back to another episode of Straight Facts. I'm joined later than usual by Lee Gunner. How are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm good, man. Thanks for nudging it back as well, Terry. I appreciate that, mate. So, yes, it was my fault. I couldn't do this afternoon. But thanks, man. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the show, man. Big up to everyone in the chat.
Lots to talk about. I just want to say a big shout out as well to people that have been listening to this on our podcast version. Thousands of downloads last week. The growth on podcast has been absolutely amazing. So if you fancy checking us out, whether it be on Spotify or anywhere else, there's links in our description below. So go and check that out. Thank you very much to everybody that's been doing that. Whether you're watching on YouTube, if you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram or Twitter. Thank you very much indeed. I know quite a lot of you have been doing that. Where to start today? Actually, I know where we've got to start today. This is involving, in fairness, this is involving you. It's a little bit of fun, to be fair, to start with. I saw this, bruv, and I was dying. I saw this and I was dying.
Football club is finished. Wahali, it is finished. Finished, Arsenal. You are finished. Football club. Wait, do you know what's mad, yeah? Is I said it with my chest as well. I actually thought I got it right. Yeah. And do you know what? Can I just say, right, to the two massive accounts on Instagram that posted that, one of them had 3.5 million followers. Wow. And the other one had 4.7 million. Yeah, can I just say, big up to both of them, because they could have easily made that a hate mission. They didn't. They made it a let's have a laugh at him instead, like mission. So we could have gone a totally different way. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think everybody listening could tell that you weren't trying to disrespect anybody's language. No, or anything like that, and it was just kind of like, oh, he got it wrong. Yeah, it made me die there because I don't know how to say it correctly. I don't know how to say the word correctly. I don't know what the word means. I didn't even bother look it up, but I listened to it, bruv, and honestly, I was dying. It
means I swear to God in Arabic.
Oh, is that what it means? I swear to God. Okay, there we go. So, yeah, I think next time just stick to English, maybe a bit of Spanish.
Yeah, well, mate, listen, yeah, my Arabic's not as good as my Spanish. I'll stick to Spanish next time. Like, seriously. Yeah, mate, it was funny. It was funny. Like, I can see. But do you know what? Do you know what? I was so on a mad one on that stream, or that video, sorry, that I didn't even think that as I'm saying it, that I'm saying it wrong. Like, that was the maddest thing about it. So yeah, big up to them two massive accounts on Insta, man, because they made it into just like a joke one, and they didn't tag me as well, which is good because yeah, my notifications have been very quiet.
Your notifications would have been on an absolute mad one. They would have been, but
oh, somebody's at my door.
No worries. I'll hold the fort while you're there. But people, look, what we're going to be speaking about in the podcast today is we're going to take, of course, Lee Gunner's here. So we've got to talk Arsenal's form. We're going to talk about the Arteta winners. Were they wrong to back him? Or has there still been positives that they should be focusing on? Equally, we're going to look at Arteta's new deal. We're going to get Lee to go into detail around that, what he thinks and feels. We will be touching on Rashford and Man United. Are they backfiring or is this a false storm? And on top of that, can Liverpool catch Manchester City? Any other talking points you want us to put in, feel free to put your questions in. Of course, we always prioritize our member chats and our super chats as they very, very generously support the football terrace. So any questions you've got or anything you want to put on, let us know. And we will speak about. Lee's back with us now. And it's the right time to jump straight into this and say this. 5 games, no win. 4 games without any goals. Are you in the mood to say, I told you so to a lot of people?
Nah, I don't need to tell them anything. The table won't lie at the end of the season, so yeah. This fan base, I say it every time I come on here, mate, every Tuesday. You know, they hype up irrelevant runs of form that lead to nothing. You know, the narrative changes on a weekly basis with this fan base. You know, now the story is Arteta's flown to America to beg Stan Kroenke for transfer funds. Turn it in. Like, turn it in. What, we're supposed to believe he's just got on a jet just gone and met up with him randomly without telling him he's coming to beg for money. Come on, seriously, man. Like, this football club is forever a meme. A bit like me at the minute. but no, honestly, Terry, we went 10 unbeaten. We finished 7th at that point. Then we went 5 straight wins. We were 4th at Christmas. Everyone got hyped, right? And back then it was a case of, oh, but points on the board are better than games in hand. Now everyone's above us, and we've got a few games in hand over them. It's, oh, points on the board don't matter anymore. It's games in hand.
Yeah, that's. Do you know what I would say, right? You know me, I've kind of been very supportive of Arsenal in certain areas this year. I think their signings have been better than you think. I do think there's been improvements in your team this year. However, not as much as other people make out. And again, I've seen that game in hand thing now be reversed. And sometimes I've had to learn to laugh at it this season. I haven't seen the changing of the narrative from Arsenal fans flip-flop from one thing to another. And I kind of get the notion of I'm going to protect my club. However, it becomes hard to have conversations when every 5 minutes you're changing your tune. That there should always be a base that you stand by, whether you think Arteta is good enough or not, whether it's the Cronkies that are the problem, whether it's the players, wherever you stand, there should always be a rooted base around your opinion, your opinion that should be based on the element of fact. With me, of course, I'll criticize players and managers and games that happen at Man United, but nothing deters me away from saying, but this is all created by the way our club is run. And Arsenal fans have been on a mad one. And generally it's people that are not like someone like yourself, someone like people like Gunnar Express, and I'm naming people that come on the Terrace, have never really backed Arteta and don't veer away from that. Even in good runs of form, it's well done for winning. I'll celebrate this, but I'm not going to go too far. And then you've got others that are just consistently positive. So I give Curran, and I'm naming fans who have been on the show, credit because he hasn't flip-flopped. Everything he said at the start of the season, he's still saying now. It's all these people in the middle that I've literally seen them go from Arteta in to Arteta out 3 or 4 times this season.
Oh, mate,
I've seen hundreds.
After Everton, it was the straw that broke the camel's back for 99% of the fan base. Then we beat 5 irrelevant teams, which ultimately led to nothing because we're out of the League Cup. And I think 2 of them teams were in the League Cup. So it was irrelevant, and then it's, oh, but we've won 5. Oh, we've got to give him a couple more. Oh, and then but then we lost him. Oh, but Man City. Oh, but it was because of VAR. Everything is, like, I see somebody post the other day on Instagram. He's got a big account. Yeah, I'm not going to promote it or nothing, but he put a post out and it was, I can't believe we got robbed of a red card against Burnley. I put it on my story. I said, what is the matter with these top gooners? Well, we need a red card to compete with Burnley now. Like, come on, mate. You've got 90 minutes in a football match. We had nothing in that game. Literally nothing. And everyone that was sat there, Terry, when we was on that 5-win streak, they were saying, we don't miss Aubameyang. We don't miss Aubameyang. But I tell you what, mate, we've scored 1 goal in January. We miss Aubameyang. Yeah? And I said this at the time. We won't miss him when we play Leeds and Sunderland. We'll miss him when we play better teams.
So do you feel like the sort of banishing of him, trying to sell him, do you feel like that's now the treatment of Aubameyang, do you think that's now backfiring?
Well, it was always going to backfire. You've gone up against the best striker at the club. When 2 of your strikers that are still here don't want to be here, and the other striker you've got, you loaned out. It makes no sense. The only one that's actually under contract for more than 6 months is Aubameyang. Aubameyang has still scored more goals than all of these strikers, by the way, and he ain't played for how long? He's got more league goals than Lacazette this season. He's got 4 league goals. Lacazette's got 3. Oh, but he works hard. Oh, he works hard. Turn it in, man. Yeah, but he works hard. Every Premier League footballer has worked hard to get to be a Premier League footballer. Work rate should be a given, yeah, not a supplement to something else. Yeah, it should be a standard procedure. When you look at the best teams in the world, they've got work rate. Messi is one of the most hardworking players with the ball. Without the ball, you think he ain't working because he's standing still. No, he's clever. He's working. Yeah, Mahrez, yeah, works hard. Yeah, Mbappe works hard. Yeah, Neymar works hard. Every Man City player works hard. Let's be real. Real Madrid players, Modric, Kroos, they work hard. It shouldn't be, oh, but he works hard. He works hard. That should not be a reason to gas up a striker that don't do nothing. Yeah, and Aubameyang, I'm sorry, mate, he's our best striker. And he ain't finished. He might be finished at this football club. He ain't finished. He posted on his Instagram the other day, I think he was on a treadmill or a bike or something, and because he'd come back from the AFCON because he had heart scare or something. Yeah, and he posted that he was fine. It was just a scare. There's nothing wrong with him. He's 100% full health. There's nothing wrong with his heart. So why weren't he in the squad then? And the one player that we brought off the bench against Burnley, because we made one sub in that game, was Eddie Nketiah, who's leaving in about 5 months. Disgust him. The mismanagement of Aubameyang is a disgrace. Aubameyang's probably not covered himself in glory, but we don't know the last fallout. And I said this at the time, Terry, when we did the show. We do not know why that manager hung him out to dry without telling us why he hung him out to dry. We don't know what's happened. All he's done is gone, oh, he broke protocol. What does that mean?
I look at it from this point of view. He's clearly done things wrong. We don't know what, but done things wrong to warrant being dropped, warrant being, put on the transfer list, whatever it may be. And that for me is part of the job. However, it becomes a club issue. You're going to have to replace him. And he wasn't scoring and he wasn't in scintillating form, but he has still been your best striker over the past 3 years. So he still needs to be replaced. And I understand that, Lacazette had like a little purple patch where his performances I felt were good. And yes, he worked hard, but I felt the team and the cohesion between him and Martinelli. No, I understand that. But the point I'm making is that Lacazette's been here, 4 or 5 years? At the end of the day, he's never been able
anywhere near what Aubameyang.
He's never been able to put in consistency. And I'll tell you what's interesting to me about Arsenal. You look at the situation today with Dusan Vlahovic picking Juve. And look, I think Arsenal did the right thing. Arsenal tried doing it. I said all along, the danger with Arsenal's approach is they were going against the grain of the way transfer deals are done. They made it very public that they were looking at the player. They dealt with the club and agent first, as in sorted out club fees and agent fees before the player agreed. You're always going to be in the mud when you go that way. It's why I get into rows all the time when people are like, oh, Terry, United didn't get rejected by this midfielder because we never put a bid in. Bruv, the bid comes when everything's pretty much agreed. But Arsenal worked in reverse. They went on the charm offensive. It didn't happen. But that wouldn't even be my concern as a Gooner. Vlahovic picking Juve over you shouldn't be a massive shock. However, there's 70-odd million pounds you were willing to pay on a transfer fee. You bid in around 70 million for Maddison in the summer, didn't get him. You bid around 70 million for Lautaro Martinez and didn't get him. Where's that money?
Why, tell? Because the manager's got nothing. Yeah, is finished. I'm not going to say it again. He's finished. Yeah, he has got no pulling power. Arsenal, as it stands right now, are not an attractive football club under Mikel Arteta, right? Not only that, if you're a striker and you've seen one of the best strikers in Europe get treated like a dog, why do you want to go to Arsenal? Because he's probably looked at Aubameyang. He's probably seen the situation with Aubameyang, and he's probably seen him getting played left wing every week. So who's to say that Arteta's not going to play him left wing?
Look, mate,
the funny thing about it is, right?
Yeah, go on, mate.
I was going to say, the funny thing about it is the amount of people that have hyped up this geezer, right? They have hyped him up and they have never watched him play. You absolute wet wipes. Yeah, every single one of them is a wet wipe. Yeah, they've never watched him play. Oh, Dusan Vlahovic, shut up, man. You've never watched him play. I watched him the other day. He was rubbish against Torino. They lost 4-0 and he got hooked off. Like, come on. I've seen him against AC Milan. Ibrahimovic scored a great goal in that game. Yeah, and he missed an open goal. It's like the way our fans and Tottenham fans as well, because I ain't forgetting them. They've been hyping him up all summer as well. Yeah, and all January as well. The way this kid has been hyped up, I'm telling you right now, Terry, yeah, he was never coming to the Premier League because he knows he'd flop. He knows he'd flop because he ain't all that. Yeah, he might look good in Italy. Yeah, but so did Ronaldo last season. So did Lukaku last season. Lukaku, yeah. They look good and they outscored him last season. So who's to say if them two have come here and flopped so far, and they both have. I don't care what Man U fans tell me. I don't care what Chelsea fans. They have, I think Ronaldo's got one open play goal in the last 15. Like, come on, he's flopped, right? Both of them are flopping at the minute. Why would that keep coming?
He did. In fairness to Ronaldo, he has scored 7 Champions League goals in 6 games. From open play. He's done all right in the Champions League.
Yeah, but that's Champions League.
I hear you. Look, I hear where you're coming from, but see, I understand that. And look, we had Dean Jones on earlier today, and it's triggered Gooners everywhere because the tier one Gooner press are not pushing out what a lot of the other press are. That the likes of Arta, I was told last week before speaking to Dean by 2 other journalists that Arta and Arsenal are a total agreement. It's all binding. And then I speak to journalists that are not Arsenal specific, and it's like, no, the player is.
And I'd listen to them over the ones that are sat there pandering to the club.
Is, you look at the fact Vlahovic was never overly convinced. They tried their best, they couldn't get it done. The agent push couldn't get it done. Arta might happen, but he's thinking, oh, Alexander Isak is currently looking at it and he isn't convinced. Now, Arsenal might be able to convince those 2 players to come. They might be able to offer them exactly the deals that they want and everything else. But at the same time, this is why I've said to Arsenal fans all season, be happy with the progression that I do think you've made, but slow down when you're talking about being a powerhouse in the league again, because you need that Champions League football and you don't know whether you're going to get it yet or not. And I just think that some Arsenal fans have thrown so much weight around on socials, and we've said it a lot on Straight Facts, that I've noticed a difference in the Arsenal fan base this year of, what I'm calling toxic positivity, where if you are not 100% positive at nearly all times, you get called out. And I'll give you an example on the Terrace. You've got, for instance, Jess, who I would say she's negative. She's critical at times, but I would say 80% of the time she backs Arsenal. Sometimes I don't even believe what she's saying, but she's saying it to back Arsenal. But as soon as she comes out and says something like, I think we might only win 2 of the next 4 games, she called Leanne Gunner. They're getting at her.
Leanne Gunner,
they're doing it, and it's almost like I can't fathom.
I didn't realize I hurt so many people. Do you know what I mean?
I saw this tweet today, and this tweet to me, I just looked at it and thought to myself, it's a weird reaction to not getting the play. It's from a guy called For the Arsenal. And I put it up on here. He just says here, like, Juventus are just one big scam, still haven't paid for Chiesa or Locatelli and already behind in FFP, but yet can blow another 70 million on Vlahovic. UEFA taking backhanders again. And I understand that's his focus, but I'm like, surely for me as a Gooner, and I was forget Arteta's Paul. The point I was making earlier is you've got this money. Go and slap the 70. It might not cost 70 million, but let's just say it does. I'm just being like trying to keep it basic. Just go slap 70 million on the table of Brentford for Tony. Go slap 60 million down right now for Dominic Calvert-Lewin. The difference is, if Isak doesn't want to come, and if Vlahovic doesn't want to come, Lautaro Martinez was another target that you weren't able to get. He did look like he would have come in the summer, but Arsenal and Inter couldn't get the deal done. But if they're not now available, you have to buy someone. So, and you're not buying anybody you're not buying a top striker from any of the big boys in the Prem. You're not buying it from Barca. You're not buying it from anybody that could conceivably win a league title or a Champions League this year, conceivably. So,
all you get when you say Tony, I put it out all the time about Ivan Toney. I've been banging that drum since before he came Premier League, mate. He is a top class striker. His movement is elite. His work rate is elite. His hold up play is elite. The guy is elite. His vision is unbelievable. His penalties are a joke. Yeah, the guy is literally better than better than Lacazette. So when somebody said to me in my stream the other day, "Oh, I can't believe that you'd want Ivan Toney. Have you seen how rubbish he's been for them this season? Yeah, have you seen how different he played this season to last season? How different Brentford played? Because you obviously didn't watch Brentford last season. Ivan Toney is basically playing in a Lacazette role, not an Aubameyang role, which he played last season." Yeah, the Aubameyang role, I mean, off the strike, off the shoulder, in the box, movement, pace, tap-ins, everything. Yeah. This season, he's playing with his back to goal. And guess what? He's still outscored Lacazette.
And the thing with it is, I've seen a lot of the comments suggesting that he ain't it. But that is
no, they'll say that though, Terry, because they'd rather an exotic name.
But that's irrelevant. That's all irrelevant to the point. That's all irrelevant to the point. The point is, the focus, Juve are corrupt, this, that, and the other. The attention should be, well, Kroenkes have clearly got the money. Go spend it. Like, there has to be somebody else on your list. Go and drop a big offer. Go and get I said it in the end of the summer, and I stand by it. That when you didn't land Martinelli and Maddison that you were chasing for 70 odd million pounds, where else did that money go? You were still trying to get Ramsdale at that same time. So the money's still there. So go and spend it. Go and put that money on somebody else. I look at it this way. Arsenal fans need to focus more on themselves than they do attacking Juventus for whatever it is Juve may or may not be up to.
The reason they're attacking Juventus, mate, is because a lot of these people have spent the last 6 months chatting absolute waffle about Dusan Vlahovic being an Arsenal player. It's happening. Oh, we're going to sign him. They've been putting out their comps. They've been putting out their YouTube videos, their transfer videos saying it's a done deal. Yeah. Not one of them's listened to Fabrizio Romano all summer or all winter because he said it ain't happening. And he said it since the summer. Yeah. Everyone knows, but according to top gooners online, they have more inside information than Fabrizio, and he was coming. So now they're going to slag off Juve because they look like idiots after spending the last 7 months saying he's coming. Yes, now it's a disgrace. They're corrupt. Everything's corrupt. It's always crybaby Arsenal, man. I'm sick of them.
I look at it from this point. Someone called me out today, and they were like, "Yeah, but Terry, you did a lot of videos talking about the news." I'm like, "Yeah, I did," because there were lots of articles from lots of outlets suggesting that. And if people actually listen to the content, that fees were agreed either verbally or officially, depends on the outlet, between Fiorentina and Arsenal. And I still believe that's true. And the irony in all of this is the outlet that last week said Arsenal have agreed a fee with Juve is the same outlet, Grazia, who broke the Juve Vlahovic news before Fabrizio. And this is the thing with football. This is what a lot of it boils down to. Fans want to push their club's PR. And I'm seeing it at Man United right now. This has been my favorite one of the week, my favorite transfer PR of the week. And I sometimes sit there and think, how could you can't be this dense? You clearly know what you're doing. So South America, Argentinian journalist broke the news end of December that Man United were looking at Julian Alvarez. A few days later, they said Man United are going to pursue it. He said that when the agent comes to Europe, which is on about the 2nd or 3rd of Jan, United are going to have a meeting with him. It then transpired United had what I call, with my words here, like an advanced and detailed meeting, a proper sit down. They know about the player. They know his profile. They discuss that, where they see him fitting in at Man United. This is what the player would want demands-wise. Man United make an offer to the agent of what they could do. They go away, consider, and give Man United their decision. Since that point, Man United have distanced themselves from that deal so dramatically. The big European and the British press have been like, no, I don't really think anything's happening, blah, blah, blah. But the same journalist, they were then challenging and calling, he's not credible, the guy from Argentina, whose name just now eludes me. He then breaks the news 8 to 9 hours before Fabrizio and one other journalist, whose name I now forget, that City are about to do the deal. Everybody's going, oh my God, this guy knows, oh, he's great. I'm like, but you're discounting his Man United news. The Man United news was a lie. He was clout chasing, but yet he knew for anybody in England. Essentially, Man United went for the player. Man United were told no about a player, so they've distanced themselves. But fans want to push their club's narrative all the time. I can take it on the chin, and it doesn't bother me. We got rejected. We clearly spoke, in my eyes, we clearly spoke to him, and we were rejected. It doesn't bother me because every single club gets rejected in every single window by a player in some way, shape, or form. But the reason Arsenal's situation now protrudes, and I think Arsenal fans are hurting, is their club went the opposite way round. They spoke to Fiorentina. They spoke to the agent. I got sent information from someone via somebody at Arsenal, and they said the Arsenal Football Club are growing in confidence. Arteta has had meetings with the agent and the player, done all of this. And I shared that with 4 journalists, some that come on the Terrace and some others that I speak to privately. And they all said they've all heard the same thing. 2 of them said they've heard it, but they're not going to run with the story because they don't believe it's going to happen. And they don't want the Arsenal fans coming at them for sharing this news. I'm like, listen, I'm not a journalist. I don't care. I'm a YouTuber. I'm just going to say what I hear. This all comes down to clubs pushing PR for me.
Yeah, and this is the problem, Terry. Arsenal and Man United are the biggest culprits of this, yeah? And Arsenal and Man United have got the 2 biggest online, or 2 of the biggest online fan bases on social media over all platforms, right? And Arsenal and Man United have also had 2 managers that are the longest serving managers in Prem history. Arsenal and Man United also have the majority of their online fans that have never seen them win anything league title wise. They've never seen a league title, a lot of these fans online, especially our fans. We ain't won one for years and years, 18 this year. Yeah, you ain't won one for what, 10? 9?
9. This will be 9
so
this
a lot
year.
of people were 9.
Unless we catch City. If we catch City, then.
No, but well, yeah, well, you never know, mate. You got the oldest strike force in the Premier League, so they got experience, didn't they?
Very true, mate. Last of the summer wine, FC, bruv. That's who we are. Last of the summer wine.
It's true though. It's like that these clubs know that the majority of their fan bases, or the Man U and Arsenal fan bases, are kids. And them kids are so desperate to be liked on social media. And that's not just a football thing on social media. That is a societal thing on social media. Everyone's desperate to be liked. So the only way you get more likes, more traction, is by being sickly, toxic, positive. Like everything sparkles and unicorns, and Arsenal are amazing. Arsenal are great. Arsenal are going to get every single player they're linked to. Every single player Arsenal are linked to is the best in the world. But then when they go somewhere else, we just blame someone else or say they're rubbish. Yeah, that's what they do, man. And that is a society issue that has flooded into a football issue. Yeah,
no, I hear you. And I just sort of, again, I go back to the original point. Take the L of being rejected with almost with a pinch of salt. This is natural and this is normal, and it will happen every single summer to nearly every single team. The amount of times a club, it's one of the reasons why Man United are deliberating over midfielders right now. Declan Rice is the number 1 target, but they're deliberating because it's a case of, if we were to sign and do deals for this, I'm just going to name some random ones out of the pack that we're looking at. If we sign Ruben Neves and Hadara this window, we're not getting Declan Rice 100% in the summer. However, if we refuse those guys and Neves goes to Arsenal and Hadara signs for Bayern Munich, I'm just throwing it out, then Zachariah goes to Liverpool, and then Declan Rice ends up rejecting us for Chelsea, we're left with no one. But the club doesn't want to pin itself to any one particular player because the narrative is so important. But what I get annoyed about is that people get so fussed about the club's narrative, you stop focusing on the real issue, which is supposedly your club has bid about 70-odd million pounds for a striker. You could spend that money elsewhere. You guys are desperate for certain.
We need a midfielder. We needed a midfielder in the summer.
If you went to Brighton now and said there's 50 million pounds, give us Basuma, you're getting the deal done.
Give us your manager while you're at it. We'll give you another 20.
Mate, this is the thing. This for me is where fans have got to stop sucking on the teat of the PR monsters at their club.
Suckling. I mean, suckling.
They are suckling, bro. You know what I mean? And focus on the real issue. But the problem is they don't want to, because they want to do what's popular on socials. I've got to back my club. You haven't got it. I look at it this way. I've always said it's not bad.
Yeah, but they do, because otherwise they get abused. Like I get abused, and they don't want to get abused because they can't take the abuse. Yeah, because the way they've been brought up in recent years, because they're of a younger age compared to me. I was brought up in the 80s and the 90s. Yeah, I used to get a backhand or a belt across my backside. You can't do that now. So these kids just run riot, but then they become soft in different ways. And then obviously mental health comes into it. We've been in lockdowns, depression. Everyone's trying to challenge you online. So you have to look perfect. Yeah. And mate, social media is a horrible place at times. Terry, you know this. You've been doing it longer than I have, mate. Yeah. Everyone wants to be liked on social media because they don't like the fact that there's people out there like me, for example, that get mad hate if they don't say something that is the general consensus. So if they go against it and agree with me, they're going to get what I get, and they don't want that. So they'll push it, and they want to be liked.
I think what you see as well is I don't mind. I disagree with some of the things you say, and I challenge you on the show, but I challenge you and ask you to explain. What I find most frustrating is people say, well, how do you know we were rejected? And I'm just saying, because this journalist here, who is highly credible, works for one of the most prestigious publications in Argentina. I'm not going to disrespect that nation. He has said we've done it. He said it before anybody else. And learn the patterns of transfers. The patterns are always the same. The tier ones now, generally speaking, say nothing until things are nearly done. That's why some people now call the tier ones tapping merchants. I'm like, but they're not tapping merchants. They are also being very smart. They also help the football clubs, because the biggest and the best journalists now connected to each of our clubs, they make all of our clubs sound amazing all the time. And it's like, you listen to certain Man United journalists, they make it sound like, oh, the best run club.
Who's the guy that they signed? What was his name? Who said Ozil was nicking a living? What's his name? What's his name? Man United signed him as a PR manager.
Oh,
Neil Ashton.
Neil Ashton. Yeah.
Literally, they signed him as a PR guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, come on, seriously. But you know what? Because you were in and around it every day, Terry, there will be a lot of people that will stumble across this stream for the first time, or they'll see it and they'll come and watch it after watching it for the first time last week. So then they'll see a news article. They're not searching news like you are every day. You're not searching it like I am every day. They'll just see, oh, okay, well, yeah, we're linked to, oh, look, Arsenal are amazing. Look, Mikel Arteta's flown out to America to beg Stan Kroenke for money. Oh my God, look at Arteta. He's a genius. Like, he's really trying to make the club great. But they don't realize it's all rubbish because that's the first time they've seen an article for a week.
Well, what's interesting about it is this: I love the transfer window. I like the hustle and the bustle. I love the sales process of it, and I know the sales process.
You love that clickbait, yeah. You love all that clickbait.
Oh, I love it. That's what I'm suckling on. Doing them rumors. I love it, right? But my kind of view on it is very much this, because I can enjoy it without getting stressed about it. In the sense of this. So there's a guy from the Times. I want to say something Hurst. I forget his first name now because I follow so many journalists. And like Fabrizio, somebody like through both their. I'm not challenging either of the journalists. They're saying what they're being told, and I give them both credit. They're both very respectable. But this individual, like, see, Terry, this guy said we didn't have any talks, and this guy said we turned them down. So your journalist is chatting rubbish. I said, okay, so one journalist is saying we didn't have talks, and the other journalist is saying that we turned them down. How can you turn something down if you didn't have talks?
Yeah.
How can we have turned him down and walked away from the deal without talks? Both the stories don't even correlate. Use your brain. We tried to, and he prefers City to us, so we walked away. It's not the end of the world. It's so natural. As a kid, I remember we were linked to Gabriel Batistuta. Didn't get him. One of the biggest rejections that Fergie and United got was Paul Gascoigne. He done the deal. Paul Gascoigne and Fergie shook hands, deal done. He was going to be a Man United midfield player. Fergie went off to the south of France, custom, end of the season. And then Spurs signed him. Fergie was fuming. Phones him up. Why did you change your mind? Do you know how Spurs
didn't they offer his missus or kid or family, his parents or something, a house or something, wasn't it?
No, it's funnier than that. They offered him a little bit more money, and they gave his sister a sunbed.
Oh, fuck off.
It's true. They gave his sister a sunbed.
He's a madman, I swear. Cuz is hilarious.
And it's you look at it like
you could have bought the flipping sunbed.
You know what I mean? And it's yeah, exactly. It didn't make any sense. And obviously his career from there,
but Gaza never made any sense, mate.
Of course.
Though, man.
It's one of those ones for me where I look at it and it's like there was no PR back then. So United it was only from about the last couple of years. I tell you another transfer BS I love. And the transfer isn't BS. It's the way certain journalists spin it. Personal terms will not be a problem. Because what they used to say was personal terms agreed, and then everybody started challenging it, saying, well, they're not signed off, so they're not agreed. So they changed the rhetoric, the semantics to personal terms won't be a problem. But then they say there's been no talks. Well, if there's no talks, how can the personal terms be no problem? You have to know. Like, if I've never offered you a job before, never spoke to you about how much money you want, I can't say, I haven't officially offered Lee the job, but he'll definitely accept the offer. How do I know? Unless I'm going to offer you dumb money, unless the offer's going to be paying you £1 million a week, right? You don't know. It's crazy. It's for me, it's really funny here that people, again, it's not even the journalist's fault. The journalists are reporting what the clubs are briefing them on.
Yeah.
Read between.
And the problem is that you made a great point earlier on, right? When you said that the Arsenal, the ones that are mostly closer to the football club, they're the ones for Arsenal that are reporting totally different news to the ones that are not necessarily connected to Arsenal. And when I say connected, I mean they're in every press conference. They're getting the exclusive. They're getting the little transfer news early, like for a signing. So he's now signed. So you've been good all year. Come here, mate. Come here. You can have this story. Oh, Josh Kroenke's in town, mate. Yeah, come here. Yeah, you can interview him. Yeah, it's like, but the ones outside of that circle, they're the ones I listen to because they ain't got no conflicts of interest whatsoever. Yeah, and they're normally pretty much spot on.
I saw one journalist in the summer, and again, I don't call the journalists liars. I'm just saying that they are telling you what they're being briefed, and what they're being briefed doesn't always necessarily mean it's sort of true. And you have to look at it from the point of view. There was a big Arsenal journalist in the summer that spoke about how Maddison was advancing. And then I spoke about it advancing, but like, no, it never was. It never was. And then I'm like, none of our journalists said that it was. And I showed them because I screenshot things because obviously articles can be edited. It's always important to remember when you look at a news article.
They can, yeah.
Because it will say when it was posted, but when it was last edited. So I screenshot a lot of these things when I read them and I sent it to the guy. So look, he said it then, but that's no longer in the article anymore. And that's because it was advancing, but then they didn't get the deal done. So he's gone back on himself and said, basically it was only inquiries. Like and it's not about journalists. It's just about understanding how these things kind of work. But yeah, Arsenal didn't get it done. On that, before we move on, I just want to speak to you about Arteta's getting a new deal, mate. Arteta new deal. Viewers,
sorry. Let me go and get a beer, mate.
Go and get a drink.
My kitchen's
go and get a drink. Go and get a drink.
Seriously, man.
Go and get a drink. Viewers, make sure you're hitting the like and share button. We're going to talk about Arteta's new deal. Then we're going to speak about Rashford. And then we're talking about Liverpool versus Man City. I want to say a big thank you to everyone that subscribed in the last few weeks. The biggest January in the history of the football terrace in terms of growth, which is absolutely astronomical. On top of that, the match reactions just go from strength to strength, and just thank you the sponsors at the weekend. The feedback they gave us from Boohoo Man and Manscaped was again unbelievable. So thank you all so much for what you're doing. We're nowhere near where we want to be as a business and as a company making content for you, but you were helping us get there. So thank you very much for that. We have some super chats here. One says, "Come outside, Tottenham fans." Obviously, that's Keith there having a pop at Igal. Funniest thing I've heard. Play it again. And I can't even say that. How do you actually say it?
I'm not saying it, mate.
What is it? Wallahi. I don't know. Don't say the H, for example. Okay, I'm going to work out how to say it. Someone time me out for no reason. Oh, I saw Neeks did that. If Neeks did it, I don't think it would have been for no reason because Neeks is my bro. Terry Bant. Okay. Thank you very much, Wolves. Lee. Is that Lee Hefner? Oh, because of the card.
Hey, come on. We got the smoking jacket on. We got the girls backstage. Like, do you know what I mean? It's all good, bro. The Bunny Mansion is looking good.
Thank you very, very much, Callum Lee. I appreciate that. Arsenal's biggest club in England, and it's a fact.
That's not a fact.
Terry,
there we go.
Arteta will not lead Arsenal to a league title, let alone the top four. He's inept. He upsets players. He's arrogant. He need info on who the whole myth about Pep doing a switch to City is bull. Oh yeah, I mean, did you hear the rumors that Arteta's on the shortlist to go to City as the next manager?
Yeah, of course he is, mate. You ask any Man City fan, we'll come into that anyway. I'll let you finish the super chats. Go on.
Comment here says 14 in 22 for Ronaldo, 7 in 22, one league goal in 9 months for Lionel Messi. Are you going to admit, like, is Lionel Messi a flop then as well?
You'd have to say at PSG, yeah.
He is. Well,
and listen, that's my favourite footballer of all time, mate.
I think he's proven there.
I'm not biased.
I think Ronaldo playing for a PE teacher and still scoring 14 in 22 and Messi just having one goal proves who the GOAT is. We know it's Ronaldo now.
Don't even start me. Listen, your GOAT, yeah, your GOAT, right, was crying when he got subbed the other day. Crying. And then Rashford goes and bags the third. And the man's sitting there going, why didn't you take the kids off? That's how you know, yeah, right? I rate his mentality, Ronaldo, yeah, because it's like, I don't want to be subbed. Yeah, I score goals. There's an opportunity to score a goal here because we're battering this lot. But to have the audacity to turn around and say to Rangnick, yeah, why didn't you take one of the kids off? Do you think he would have said that to Fergie? Fergie would have said, jog on, mate.
In fairness, he had strops like that when Fergie was manager, and Fergie spoke about this on a number of occasions where he just
would never have said that to Fergie, though.
I don't know exactly the words he used, but he definitely had those hissy fits with Fergie as well. It's just these words. I actually love it because it shows he cares about.
He does care. He cares about himself, not Man United. He cares about himself.
Yeah, I don't know.
He cares about himself. He wants to be the main guy all the time. Everything's about Ronaldo, bro.
I like him. I love him.
He's not the main guy. He's not the main guy. He's not.
He is. Robbie here. Robbie, thank you so much for the
striker.
I know Rashford is.
Oh, fuck off.
Rashi! I love it. Lee, big up. Question for you. Arteta, unlike United, had a chance to take players out and bring in his own players, which you may agree takes time. do you think Arteta should be judged next season? This season is unacceptable. Don't get me wrong. That's from Robbie Singh.
Big up to Robbie Singh, man. That's a big donation as well.
It's a big donation, and it's a good question that feeds into the Arteta New Deal conversation as well.
No, that is a good comment. Well done, man. And well done, you, Terry. You can tell you're an experienced streamer for posting that one out to seamlessly link it.
I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good for it, Thief. Pretty good.
Yeah. Boy, mate, listen, you're probably asking the wrong person that question, because I want him sacked now. Yeah, like honestly, I didn't want him. I didn't want him before he got the job. I said I weren't backing him before he got the job. I'm still not backing him when he's got the job. For me, he's a lot of waffle. He's a lot of chat. He's a lot of hype. There's a lot of PR around this geezer. Everything's, it's Mikel Arteta is that's the reason this has happened, or this player wants to sign because of Mikel Arteta. Bro, we all know that when a player signs, they're going to big up the manager. I spoke to the manager on the phone for an hour. His whole thinking was amazing. He's probably been told to say that. He probably hasn't. He probably did speak to the player, but he's probably never been told that. He probably got told to say that. He's not going to say, the reason I signed for the club is because Mikel Arteta was absolutely vital in my convincing me to sign for Arsenal. Don't worry about Man City, because I didn't really want to go there anyway. But as soon as Arteta got on the phone, oh my God, he convinced me. Come on. It's like, do you really believe some of this stuff? Like, sorry, I don't. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I sort of look at it like that. Look, I look at Arteta's New Deal in this way. I understand what they're trying to do. They obviously, such a big risk. Arsenal's board clearly believe in him. They clearly believe in him. The problem that you've got, if he gets another 2 seasons and it doesn't work, you then could lose 2 or 3 of these supremely talented youngsters. So the Martinelli,
we're going to lose them. Martinelli will be gone by the end of next season, mate. Whether Arteta's here or not, he's too good for Arsenal. He's too good, mate. Yeah, he is too good. He is too good under this current Arsenal regime. He is too good, and he is such. When I watched him the other day, like, I know he didn't have a great game against Burnley, but every time he gets the ball, he just gets it, and it's like, first fault, right? I'm going to run at you. I'm going to come for you. I'm running at you. He's looking up. He's trying to do a quick 1-2 against Liverpool. I know we lost the game. Only player that could walk off of that pitch that could say he had a good game. He had Trent on the ropes at times, mate. Yeah, he had Trent and Gomez, not Gomez, Curtis Jones. Yeah, both of them were doubling up on him in that first half. He was running ragged. Then he done Van Dijk. Yeah, literally Van Dijk was doing a baby giraffe. Yeah, in the box. I was like, right, that's Van Dijk. Do you know what I mean? He is so good, mate. And I'm telling you now, right, most of these South Americans, Terry, as you well know, and so did the chat, their dream is to play for Real Madrid or Barcelona, mate. He will be at one of them in the next 2 years. He's too good for Arsenal. And he's got Suarez vibes all over it for me. He's
a phenomenal. He's phenomenal. I love Smith Rowe. I love Saka as players. To take all my rivalry aside, they're highly talented. And look, as I say, with the Arteta New Deal, let's see what happens with it. Let's see the direction that the club goes in. But well, I mean, yeah. Listen, I know you think
they're linking it that he's linked to City. Like, come on, do people actually believe, right? We're going to offer him a new deal because City are trying to poach him. Like, come on, yeah.
It's a mad one to me. We have got some breaking news here though this evening. Congratulations to Manchester City, confirmed here by Fabrizio Romano that Julian Alvarez to Manchester City from River Plate, done deal. Here we go. That's 18 million euros to River Plate, bonus and taxes. He'll sign a 5-year deal, but he'll go back to River Plate on loan for the rest of the season. As you can see there, I mean, listen, I only know what I did through watching snippets of him. I use Y-Scout rather than YouTube because YouTube just puts compilations together, and he does look very talented. So
Man City don't normally cock up, mate, on strikers.
No, I mean, Man City a bit just consistently brilliant in the transfer
defenders.
Market.
They're not the greatest. Yeah, like when it comes to signing defenders until recently, but strikers they tend to do all right, mate. Yeah, Aguero, Jesus, even Balotelli was doing bits for them. Like, do you know what I mean? They do sign some good players up front and on the wing and that. So listen, if Man City wanted him rather than Dusan Vlahovic, there's a reason for that, isn't it? Yeah, there's a reason for that.
Well, they've gone for him. I mean, the talks are that City are still going to go for both, but we'll see what happens in relation to that. We have some more super chats here that have come through. Spurs bought Gazza's mum a house. Fergie said, and it was a house as well. I swear there was a sunbed. I swear there was a sunbed.
No, a lot of people in the chat were saying sunbed as well.
Gazza sister sunbed. You know, like I just got to double check it. Gazza revealed he snubbed Man United for a sunbed. Yeah. And also a sunbed because Spurs gave him a house. They gave him a house. This is what Gazza said. This is from Gazza himself. They gave me a house and my sister a sunbed. Yeah. I knew. Look, in and around right there. You're also right. I'm sure his mum lived in the house with him as well, Liam, the old mucker. So yeah, there or thereabouts.
I'm getting ripped in this comment section for saying City signed good strikers. Man said Wilfred Boney, you know.
Yeah, but you know what? It's what I said about City. What you've got to look with City is it's been the step change to where they are now.
That was Pellegrini that signed him, and they still won the title.
Yeah. Robbie comes back and says, I follow you, Lee, hence why I asked you. I get the PR stuff, but I'm assuming the squad will have the next season will be. Yeah, I mean, you know what I would say, Robbie, on that is if he's still here if he ends up finishing 5th this season, the expectations then to go at least one better again. So I think as a manager, you should be judged every season. You shouldn't be written off every season, but you should always be judged. And I was saying to Goodness the other day,
Everton and Watford have sacked better managers than Arsenal have. Aston Villa sacked a better manager than Arsenal have, and then got a better manager than Arsenal have. Watford sacked a better manager than Arsenal have, and got a better manager than Arsenal have, and then sacked him as well. Like, come on, Everton has sacked like a better manager than Arsenal have. Every manager that's been sacked in the Premier League this season is better than Arteta. I don't get the hype. I don't get the hype, bro.
Bro, do you know who did a really good job that you guys should have gone for? Like, got Grandpa. I think Steven Gerrard. You know.
Oh, I would have took Gerrard in a heartbeat. I love him.
I don't like it. I don't like the fact that I like how he manages. Like, I listen to him talk. I listen to what he does, and I'm like, this guy's serious.
He don't care, man. He don't care. He sits there and he'll call his players out. Yeah, and I like that. Yeah, people always cuss Jose for throwing his players under the bus. Gerrard does it slightly differently. Like, I remember one of his, I think it was his first press conference, or one of his first press conferences for Rangers, and the captain was sat next to him, and he hadn't played for 2 years. He'd been injured, and they asked the captain a question. He went, no, I'll answer that. If he, and he pointed out, if he don't pull his weight and don't play to the standard that's required to play for Glasgow Rangers, yeah, he won't be at the football club. I was like, what the flipping hell is going on here? I think he'd only done 3 press conferences. I was like, oh my God. But you can tell he's got that elite, I'm going to win at all costs mentality. And that's how he was as a player. That's how he is as a manager. He's going to be a brilliant manager, man. He already is a brilliant manager. He went invincible against Celtic, bro. Like, come on.
No, mate, he's got so much talent there, and it's annoying. And also, at 40 years of age, that hairline is ridiculous.
He's got a better ball than Arteta as well, Coutinho, yeah? We're signing Odegaard, man, signing Coutinho.
He's doing a very, very good job indeed. We have a super chat here that says, hot take, Suarez had the best single season performance in Premier League history. Thoughts? No, not for me. Nah. And the reason that I say that, and I've never really thought about who has, if I'm being honest. So, but the reason I say no to Suarez, I'm plagiarizing here. I heard someone else say it. His record that year against the other top teams wasn't particularly great, and he scored a lot of goals against like bottom 6, bottom 7 teams. And at the end of the day, I think you've got to give a single season performance to somebody. Say if we're talking about attackers, you've got to give it to somebody who scored and assisted a lot.
That won the title.
But their team also won the title as well. Like, for me, that's the bit for me that stands out and has got to be done.
Although saying that, Terry, yes, the game is all about elite sport is about winning trophies. We had that debate last week. But having said that, Luis Suarez can't determine how good Skirtle is at centre back. Like, or Moreno at left back. Like, come on.
No, I do hear you on that, but at the same time, like, again, it was an amazing season.
Vardy's got to be up there, though. Vardy, when he broke Van Nistelrooy's record.
Vardy single season. On Henry in the Invincible year. I swear that was the year that he got the most goals and assists as an example.
Record now.
Yeah, like I look at that as I mean, this wouldn't have been all the goals and everything, but David Beckham's 1998-99 season, the year after being sent off in the World Cup. He comes second, I think, that year in the Ballon d'Or. He was that good. Like, is in his performance before that was ever before the Ballon d'Or become a popularity contest for social media.
That Ronaldo season where he bagged 40 goals. But remember the free kick against David James?
Yeah, and that's why I look at Ronaldo. Ronaldo wasn't.
That was when Ronaldo was decent, you know.
He was an inside forward. It was what he did both. Yeah, I mean, there's lots of arguments for it. Z here says Arteta is the vaccine for the virus. Someone said that.
Oh yeah, someone said that, Julian, on that other channel. Oh my days! But this is the sort of fans I have to go against. Yeah, because I'm sitting here on a tiny little platform with 66K.
It's not tiny.
Yeah, but in the grand scheme of things, like it is tiny. Like it's not tiny in terms of viewing figures, but in terms of sub base, it is tiny. Yeah, and I don't believe it to be tiny, but in the grand scheme of YouTube, it is tiny. Yeah, I'm going up against a fan channel that has got 1.4 million subs, and people like that plonker that sit there saying stuff like that. Like, come on.
Do you know what it is? Do you know what's funny? Like,
it's hard work being me, bro. Like, it's hard.
What I love is how, like, I kind of look at it from the point of view of like, what I've always loved about AFTV, Stretford Paddock, Full-Time Devils, and everything else is that they just allow fans to have their say. What I found really weird in the last like 6 months is we've had a number of people's opinions go kind of viral, but people that work for those channels or have been on those channels or made famous through those channels attack it. Honestly, I had a guy, a guy from a big Man United channel. When we had a guy went viral about 3 months ago, was like, how dare, why this guy is like famed for this guy must have been memed 500 times in his life, and he was like, I hate how people go on camera just to get memed. It's like, it's crazy to me. But yeah, I mean, that's a mad opinion. Basically, our clubs are in the mud. Yeah, you're right, Robbie.
Come on, Robbie.
King Juice here with a $99 donation. Thank you very much. He says,
big follow on my channel, by the way.
Okay, a bit from Atlanta. Us Glazers respect from Atlanta, the USA. The Glazers care about the LA Rams. Sorry, the Cronkies, I think you mean. The LA Rams and not Arsenal. They have been employing the wrong people in the NFL for years. Arsenal is a side hustle for them, nothing more. My question is, if Arsenal are not a premier destination, what is Arsenal?
Finished. I'm not saying the other word because I get it wrong.
Yeah. Don't say the other
Arsenal.
word.
Arsenal is finished, mate. But this football club, Terry, you'll know this. You're not a million miles behind me in terms of age, right? Arsenal used to be the classy football club, the Arsenal. It was a great football club in terms of it. It was a community club. Yeah, and that's not a dig at people overseas. I'm overseas now. Yeah, it's not a dig at fans overseas. Without overseas fans, we wouldn't have £60 million signings in the club. You know, do you know what I'm saying? So we wouldn't have that stadium. But for me, that club sold out, mate. That club sold out, and that club knew what it was doing before the Cronkies got there. They knew that there was a Super League coming. They knew that they could all make a lot of money by selling their shares to the Cronkies, and they all sold out. Yeah, every single one of them is culpable, mate.
I hear you. I just want to say to a few people in the comments, I'm not having a pop at all at AFTV. I think they're brilliant, as I've said. What I find weird, imagine you go viral for an AFTV fan opinion because you're screaming or you're shouting or you say something that's mad, but then you attack other people that do the same thing elsewhere. That's what's weird. Like the hypocrisy of it, you know. I don't ever pop at anybody's kind of content they create because...
Oh, I will.
I just don't, because for me it's like we all get
diplomatic these days, Terry.
I hear you. Question for you, because we've obviously been sidetracked slightly because of the super chats, and obviously we always focus on what they've got to say. Thank you to everyone that's donated. Marcus Rashford, is he back? Is he back to his best now? I think he'll be back to his best this season.
I'm going to call you a gal. Magal. Yeah, Man United version of a gal. Magal. No, Terry, come on, man. 1 goal against Brentford. Yeah, stop being reactionary. You're saying it with a straight face as well.
And the winner against West. Listen, I'll be honest with you. When I say is he back,
the winner against West Ham was offside. You got lucky.
Shut up. There's no offsides anymore. None.
What do you mean there's no offsides anymore?
Let me just represent my position, because I was obviously being sarcastic. I don't think he's back to his best yet, but I'm starting to see the signs of it.
Can I just show you this? It was offside, by the way. I've got proof.
I love it. I love it.
He was
I
offside, mate. He
absolutely
was
love it.
offside.
For me, though, what I'm seeing with Marcus Rashford right now, I'm seeing this is what I will say to people. He will come back. I wanted to chat about him because I'm happy Martial's left Man United, and it feeds him because I love both of them. Ironically, they're very good friends as well. They don't dislike each other. Most Man United fans like them both. But the criticism of Rashford in the last few months has been heavily been overly targeted because of how Martial FC feel about how he's being treated or the fact that he's not kind of been included.
He's hardly played as well.
Yeah, I mean, I was gutted for
Rashford has played, and he's played in losses, and he's played in embarrassments.
Yeah,
as
of
well,
course, of course he has. And Rashford, I called him out and he deserved to be dropped. But I'm just starting to see now, and I'm not getting carried away, but I'm starting to see now. It's funny, really, because a clip went out yesterday on the Clips channel of the Terrace of us talking 2 weeks ago about how like Ralph is he being listened to? Is he being respected? And we were both saying doesn't feel like it. You fast forward a week, and yes, we collapsed against Villa, but much better in the second half against Brentford. And then we took first time. I honestly, the first time in over a year, barring playing Leeds United, where I felt we controlled a game. And honestly, that was the best bit, that we just were able to control a game. We didn't break.
I don't feel you did control that game. I just feel.
You not?
No, I watched that game. Yeah, I was watching the game. And I'm not having a dig at Agal, by the way. Yeah, me and Agal are sweet, bruv. He messaged me the other day over that clip as well. So, yeah, he was like, don't let anyone try cancel you, bruv. That's what he said. I said, nobody is. But, no, he's a good lad. But I watched that game. I don't feel you controlled that game at all. Yeah, they just didn't attack. Like this guy says in the chat, Hammers didn't attack you. They went there. Yeah. They went there for a draw. Yeah, and if they could get a goal, they could get a goal. They were poor, man, but it weren't so much because you made them look poor. It was the fact that they weren't at the races and you weren't at the races, and it was two crap teams.
No,
and I think I think at one point, hold on, I think at one point after about 70 minutes, you had one shot on target between you.
I don't listen. No, I'm messing. Look, I understand you. In terms of breaking West Ham down was hard. They were very resolute. They were hard to break down, as have been many times this year. We stopped them from attacking, though. And the 3 or 4 times
Harry Bowen's a baller, though. Can we just admit that he's such a good footballer?
He is. And this is why I was so impressed, because it was 3 times in the game. Twice he was stopped by Maguire. The third time Maguire had to foul him. But that's what we did so well. Is in every time they tried to break on us, we managed to nullify them. And as I say, I'm not getting carried away yet. I'm happy to see Rashford scoring and smiling. I'm happy to see Cavani back involved. I'm happy to see more control coming into the game.
This is why you'll get a charge for top 4 with Tottenham over us. Because at one point you had 4 strikers on the pitch. Rashford, Martial, Cavani, Ronaldo. Yeah, and you took Greenwood off. Otherwise you would have had 5. Right? We haven't even got 4 at the club. You had 4 on the pitch. Right? And it's like... This is why you will get the wins. Yeah, Martial, can I just say as well, by the way, he changed that game when he came on. How direct was he when he got the ball? Every time he got the ball.
I saw a lot of Martial FC saying that, but that goes back into my point about Rashford.
What do you mean Martial FC? Martial is better than Rashford, bro. That ain't even a debate. He is a stick footballer.
But I don't care. What I mean is, I think they're both brilliant. Martial being better than Rashford is irrelevant, but you proved my point, I think. The reason that Martial came on and did very well. Him and Cavani's, those extra bodies in attacking positions, their experience, they did a lot for us. Look, I know he did really well against Brentford. I'm not sold yet on Elanga. I'm just not sold. He's young. He looks raw. I haven't seen enough of him yet.
Martial gassed him up like he's the second coming of Mbappe or something.
I'm not gassing him up yet. However, if Rashford hadn't put that ball in the back of the net and it was Cavani or it was Bruno or it was Elanga, Martial wouldn't have got as much praise as he got. It was almost, Rashford's got the winner. Martial FC coming out. And that's one of the reasons why I'm glad Martial's gone. Not for Martial not being here. I would love him to go away to Sevilla, do well, come back refreshed and kill it.
Is that where he's going, Sevilla? I see he was linked to Juve.
Yeah, no, Sevilla, it's all done.
Is it a done deal?
It's done. He's over there now.
That's 2 hours away. I like Martial. I'll go and watch him, bro.
Oh, of course you will.
I'll go on a scouting mission. Yeah.
But hopefully it will help. Hopefully it will help Rashford and it will help Martial.
Is it a loan or permanent?
Loan, just to the end of the season, just a loan, and then he's back.
Oh, mate, that's a great signing for Sevilla, man. That's a sick signing.
It's excellent for them. Excellent for them. And he'll like it there and everything else.
Can I just say as well, there's enough people in this chat saying, Lee, you are owning Terry. Whose channel is this? What are you talking about owning Terry? Me and Terry are boys, man. We're just having a debate. What's the matter with you lot?
Yes, and it comes down to, it's like, this is the thing with these kind of debates. We're not debating about the best way to, improve healthcare, which is really serious. It's just, and the maddest bit is, I don't disagree. I think Anthony Martial is the better technician, has the better ability, has the better overall skill set than from Rashford. However, I think the problem with Anthony Martial is competition. Whenever he's positions under threat, I think he's a bit of a shrinking violet. So
I think he's just like, fuck, I can't be bothered. Yeah, let him have the position. I ain't fighting for it. I should have it anyway. One of them ones.
You've worked in very high pressured sales environments. You've seen that person who's killing it, doing well, into a new young buck arrives who starts doing very well as well. And instead of going, right, come on in, bruv. I used to be like this. I had a new guy join my team once when I was working in the bank called Rio, and this kid come in. And we obviously worked the football book together, but he used to play for Arsenal and he knew people. This guy Rio, more connections across London I've met in my life. Absolute legend. And I remember going home one evening and I was like, I'm actually, this kid's going to destroy me. Like I had this feeling that he is going to outperform me and I didn't want to lose my position at the top. But I looked at it like, well, I'm going to become his mate. I'm going to embrace it. I'm going to work even harder. And he did beat me, but I come a very good second, if that made sense. However, we had another guy in our team who just got his nose put out of joint and felt so pressured by it. He had the worst year in 5 years because he couldn't handle the pressure of someone else coming in. That for me is how I see Martial. I feel like when he's the main guy and there isn't a threat around him, I think he'll flourish. That's why I think a club like Sevilla will be amazing for him.
If he does well at Sevilla, mate, trust me, they'll love him forever.
He's the best guy straight away. He's the best guy at Sevilla straight away. No other attacker.
They have got some good players.
I think he becomes their best attacker, though. This is the thing. People think I slag him off. I think he's amazing. I think he'll go there. They'll make him the main guy, and I think he's going to flourish. I think he'll flourish and do a great job. My only problem with him at Man United is I don't know how he handles the pressure, and it ain't just him. It's a lot of our guys. It's one of my biggest issues with Marcus Rashford. He got the hero complex because of the pressure that's put upon him. Bruno's the same. When that pressure comes on top, it's like you don't all need to be the hero. That goal we scored against West Ham is how we should play. Just play the right ball to make it easier for the team. I was so happy that if Cavani shoots on his left foot, he might score, might drag it wide. He didn't. He did the right thing. And look, it's a great thing overall. I'm hoping Rashford starts to improve soon and get back to where he needs to be. Very quickly before we end, Liverpool, are they going to catch Man City?
Nope.
You don't think it's possible at all?
Well, it is possible. Yeah, it is possible. The word possible is in the word impossible. So it is definitely possible. It's going to be interesting when they play each other. That's going to, for me, be the decider. Yeah, because Man City, they were not great against Southampton. How good was Walker Peters' goal, by the way? Yeah, what a goal. But yeah, I just think Liverpool have done really well in this AFCON period because I think the only draw they've had in 5 games, they've won all the other 4. The only draw was against us. Yeah, and they've won the other 4 games. So it's not like they've missed Salah or Mane, is it? So
they've done well. I look at it this way, bruv.
If they win their game in hand, they're 6 behind. That's
and then they play them. They play
them. If they play them and lose, title's done. If they play them and win, we've got a title race on our hands.
Absolutely. Selection here says Martial will be back to his best. He just needs proper management. He's still a player. There's still a player there. Don't want to send him back to United for his own sake because
he will do very well at Sevilla, right? Sevilla. I've never been to their stadium. I've been on the outside of the stadium, had a few pictures outside. I've never been in it. But a friend of mine, a very good friend of mine, one of my besties, lives in Sevilla. Yeah, so now Martial's there. We've got Becky B down the road at Betis. Yeah, that's literally 3 miles.
Becky B.
Becky B, do you know what I mean? Yeah, Dua Lipa. Yeah, he's literally he's literally 3 miles away from Sevilla's ground. So yeah, I might have to get myself down to Sevilla real soon because Martial. But Sevilla have got a sick team, man. They've got that El Nesri. They've got what's his name in midfield that played for Rakitic. Yeah, he's there. They got Ocampos. They got some sick footballers, man. They got some sick players, but they're just not. They're doing it in terms of league position, but I think their top scorers bagged about 5-6 goals this season. Martial is going to go in there and slap it. Yeah, absolutely smash it.
Martial was the reason it was offside because it was a late pass. You see, look, it weren't even offside. Everyone was great.
Everyone was offside.
Do you know what's crazy about it for me? Again, a player FC.
They didn't even check it.
No,
Well, they checked it, but they didn't do the drawings on the screen or nothing.
That's because they didn't have time. What I would
What
say
do you mean
wasn't
they didn't have time?
it wasn't being shown though in the UK, so we can't blame. It was another
I was
television
watching it in
network.
Spain, mate, on the zone. So I'm watching it in live, real time. They
So I was
didn't do none of this boxes and drawing
I got
lines.
VPN, bro. I got VPNs. I got a friend that sends me a link. It's all legal. I use my VPN, G. So I was proper done. But literally, they boom. It's only like it depends. Every television
It's
network.
because it was right at the end of the game. They didn't bother. That's why they were like, "Oh, let it go." Yeah,
It
frozen
was
settings.
onside. You know,
It wasn't onside.
it was. Viewers though, everybody that has tuned in, a massive thank you to each and every single one of you. I said at the top of the stream, everyone that's been listening to our podcast, I cannot thank you enough. The level of downloads and follows has been amazing. The link for that is pinned to the live comment section, so go check it out. In case you missed some of the shows, podcasts are great because you can just listen, close the phone, crack on. Go get that downloaded now. There's also the link in the description below. Lee, a pleasure as always, my friend. Thank you very, very much.
This chat's been great today as well. Like, there's been less hate for me in the chat today. Yeah, so maybe we should do this at 8 o'clock every 8 o'clock my time every week.
Listen, my guy, we'll chat again soon. Viewers, take care. Goodbye.